All right, guys. Thank you for joining me again. Appreciate it as always. I saw some of you guys mention something about a DoorDash bill for $8,000. Who are we talking about? If you do not mind answering that one, because I am curious. Someone said Trump, $8,000 DoorDash bill. That's impressive. All right, all right, all right. All right, we're in business. Sorry, I missed a bump. Damn, you guys are fucking fast. Patrice, Olco Prepper, Teresa, Evolving Meter, thank you for the 5x5. Searshaw, Prep to Adapt, Groundhog, J. Cole, Raccoon, Dobie, Let's Go, Maria, thank you for the 5x5. Woody, J. No More, Ed, another friend, thank you for the 5x5. Mitch B, Uptech, Kimberly, Laura, thank you for the 5x5. Casey Bory, Rated Forever, Dakota, thank you for the 5x5. Winter Homestead, what's going on? Nick Easy, Adam, that's not my problem, but you can't hear me, so why am I saying anything? Oscar Noor, Wallace, thank you to 5x5. Jerry, Mississippi, Strawberry, what's going on? 1 second after, All American Prepper. Senorita, thank you for the 5x5. Adam, Crow, Sharon, Jaco, thank you for the 5x5. All right, all right, all right. Wide Awake, thank you for the 5x5. Bass Bunny, thank you for the 5x5. Rob B, Renee, what's going on? Thank you for the 5x5. Severe Thunderstorm, thank you for the 5x5. All right, all right, all right. $8,000 on DoorDash. They better bring drugs. Shit, drugs. They better bring drugs, hookers, a band. $8,000. Someone named Mastermind said his bill was $8,000. DoorDash for a month? What the fuck are you ordering that is $8,000? Unless he's I could all right. I could sort of see it because I was spending probably about in 1 month. I think I spent about 500-600 bucks on DoorDash and between DoorDash and what you call it. Now I'm spending probably about maybe 100 150 bucks a month. Right, so I'm cooking for myself more now than I am before. Cobalt, thank you for the 5x5. That's crazy. 8K. That's a lot of money, man. Like that's, I mean, and the thing is, here's the problem with DoorDash. DoorDash is shit. It's shit service. They used to be really good, but they started letting fucking Wakiki and Bushutu and these fucking African dudes deliver your shit, and they're fucking it up. They're coming late. They got their bag open, so all the cold air is going inside. I mean, they're horrible, man. I ordered Five Guys last week, and they switched to 3 different drivers. Driver number 4 decided he was going to pick it up, and then he got there and didn't move. So I just canceled the order. They're horrible. DoorDash, Uber Eats, they're all horrible services now. And they're horrible services because of these fucking illegals they got working for them. Bottom line. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's if you order in your area, you're gonna get better service. That's what I learned, right? So if I stick to my area, it's fine. But I try to order Five Guys, and there's no Five Guys around here, and they just don't like driving all the way up here for it, right? So there's that. But they just got horrible service now, and they will refund you with no problem. They used to give you shit before. Now they refund you with no problem. But they're losing a lot of money. They're losing a ton of money because people are canceling their orders and just not wanting to deal with them anymore. And I mean, now I'm back on my one protein burrito a day kind of shit. So I'm hoping to hit 245 by next week. Where are we? Thursday? Yeah, probably by next week. So I gotta stick to this stupid fucking plan. If I can get down to 245, then everything else should be easy. But yeah, so now I'm eating at home, and if I have to order something, I'll go and get it. I will use Grubhub. They're not too bad. They're pretty Johnny on the spot with their shit. But the problem is DoorDash and Uber Eats, they let their delivery drivers do what they want. I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me the corporation bend the knee to illegals because illegals are like picking up multiple orders, and then yours happen to be yours is always the last one, right? And they're picking up multiple orders, and they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to pick up one order, deliver it, drop it off, but they're not doing that. They're grabbing multiples because they have like 2, 3 phones on them, and they have different apps open, right? And if the apps are all in the same area, they'll pick one up, and if it's going to the same delivery spot, they'll pick it up and then go to the same delivery spot. Or if it's on their way to you, they'll drop it off. Dakota said, "Oh no, they don't." You might be right. Damn, no kidding. That's crazy. See, ordering something like ice cream, that's fucking bananas from DoorDash. Like little things don't make any sense, you know? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to get sidetracked because we got a little bit to cover here. But today we're going to talk about the Charlie Kirk Fallout or the Charlie Kirk Timeline. And the timeline is it's not particularly in order, but nonetheless, this is what happened on leading up to Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens changing their mindset. So now, apparently, when Charlie Kirk was younger, he was supposedly when he started his Turning Point USA, he was supposedly already being groomed by Israel. This is when he was a teenager, 18, 19 years old. He was one of Israel's top non-Jewish loyalists. He started mildly criticizing Israel within the last year or two, just mildly. And when you mean mildly criticizing, he was just asking questions. He wasn't even criticizing. He was asking questions. And with that, Ben Shapiro and them thought that he was attacking Israel. All right. They found out, what you call it, Charlie Kirk had said at one point that Epstein was Mossad. Apparently, there's a lot of tiny hat connections with Epstein, and that goes really deep. Especially, what's her name, Giselle, whatever her name is. She went Gisine. I can't pronounce her name. I can never pronounce her name. Ghislaine, whatever. She was actually Epstein's wife, and her father was the head of or in charge of or one of the partners of the textbooks that are here in the United States. I forgot the name of the company, but they're actually all in bed with each other. And again, this guy was a, you know, yes, Laura. He was just asking questions. That was the crazy shit. Just asking questions. Ghislaine. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, just asking questions. And Charlie Kirk also questioned the whole Iranian Israeli war, the possibility of that. He lobbied for Trump against Iran war, and he lobbied for Trump a lot, Matt, as we all know. During both campaigns, he was lobbying for Trump. He was up Trump's ass, Charlie Kirk. I think he started distancing himself away from Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk started distancing himself from Trump earlier this year. And not completely, like backed out on him, but just keeping his distance. Charlie Kirk called Benjamin Netanyahu as a bully. I remember that. That was early this year. He feared. Now, he told Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and supposedly Nick Fuentes, who I thought they weren't talking, but Nick Fuentes today said that Charlie Kirk had said to him that he was scared of Israel. That once he turned down a $150 million offer, he was sort of like, uh-oh, I think I messed up, kind of deal. Again, that's Charlie Kirk. So he thought or feared that Israel was coming after him. Harrison Smith posted about Kirk's fear earlier, or middle of this year, excuse me. Benjamin Netanyahu requested Charlie to visit Israel. Again, that was the middle of the year. If I'm not mistaken, it might have been in July or August. Netanyahu offered Turning Point USA a huge funding. That was the $150 million. Charlie Kirk refused it. Charlie Kirk thought he was in trouble again. Bori, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Charlie Kirk became disgusted with Benjamin Netanyahu. I think he did, but he kept that behind the scenes. I don't think he was upfront about it because he was always trying to navigate what he was going to say about Israel. And here's where Israel was pissed with Charlie Kirk. They were pissed with him. When he let, according to them, anti-Zionists speak at his events. He had Zionist media started attacking him, Charlie Kirk. Zionist donors threatened to defund Turning Point. Now, he did take funding from different tiny hat investors. He did. But they started coming after him, and Nick Fuentes said that they were tormenting him for a while because they were giving their money to him to speak on behalf of Israel, and he started turning his back on him. Slowly he did, but not right away. Donors cut him off and launched an attack. Loomer said Kirk backstabbed Trump. The FBI director fires chief of Utah of FBI. That was in the office. That was during the whole investigation. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Supposedly, Charlie Kirk had an anti-Israel interview with Shapiro. The anti-Israel interview was Charlie Kirk. I watched the interview, about 5-10 minutes of it. The anti-Israel interview was Charlie Kirk asking questions as to why Israel needs to do certain things and how come we can't just pull back from him. They consider that anti-Israel. So, yeah, go figure that shit out. Where are we? Now, Shapiro went scorched earth on Charlie Kirk earlier this year on the Mark Levine show. He also went scorched earth on Candace Owens last year. There was this big falling out last year between Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. You can find it all over YouTube. It was like a soap opera drama between them. And I couldn't understand why. And I'm like, oh, maybe, because I don't trust Ben Shapiro. I will never trust Ben Shapiro. Some of the things he says are on point, but I stopped listening at some point once he started talking about Jesus. And he talked about Jesus. Actually, I found that interview about Jesus today. But he said a couple other things about him. And he basically said that Jesus was a magician and a rebel rouser in a roundabout way. And, of course, leave it to a tiny hat to say that. And he said that there were no miracles and that, and then everything that happened to Jesus was because he was trying to rebel against the Roman army and he got put up on a cross for his troubles. Benjamin Netanyahu was some operator back in the days, Rob B. said. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know about his younger days, but I wouldn't doubt it. So anyway, Candace Owens, had a falling out, and then everybody started calling Candace Owens crazy because she learned something about Israel, and she just flipped the script. She was like that. She had enough, like inside of a year. So Ben Shapiro started attacking her, trying to make her look like the bad guy. And then Ben Shapiro started attacking Charlie Kirk. Now, Officer Tatum was still up Candace Owens' ass at that point. He looks like he's separating himself away from them after he visited Israel. Find that interesting. Bori, thank you for the donation again. All right. So, Charlie Kirk has combative meeting with Israel rabbis. They were trying to stage an intervention with him for the last few months. So before September 10th, when he was off, unusual people, they said, were visiting the so-called shooter. Someone said that there were cars that pulled up to Tyler Robbins' home. They thought that they were just visiting the father, but they didn't recognize any of these people getting out of the car. But that was an eyewitness account. Visitors had out-of-state license plates. The visitors did not give off a good vibe. Again, that's coming from an eyewitness report. Charlie was shot in the jugular 200 yards away, way less than that, and again, off to his right. Unidentified man runs in a crowd with a pistol. Now, the unidentified, I seen that video of the unidentified man with the crowd and the pistol. That guy just pulled out. You can carry in Utah. And so some people said you can't carry in the college grounds. I don't know if that's true or not. Probably true. But it doesn't matter. It's not going to stop him from carrying. And I think he had the pistol out ready to rock and roll. That now, some people, when that's where I have the issue. There's a muzzle flash to the right in one video. And a Marine Corps sniper broke down the entire scene. He broke it down. And he said that it came from the right, but he said that might have been a reflection from another window that was in that area. But he says the shooter came from the right. He seems to also think that maybe it was on the rooftop from another angle, and that's why he caught him here. But he says that's one, what you call it, but he goes, the kid from in front was an impossible shot. He goes, the shot from the right, he goes, is where I would have probably put myself. Prepper Revelation said you can carry on college campuses. All right. But he said that the Marine Corps sniper, again, he knows more about this than we do. He said that that's where he would have positioned himself, not dead in front of him. He says the whole being right in front of your target, he goes, we don't do that anymore. He goes, we're a little offset because that's where you expect it to come from. You expect it to come from the front. But they said off to the right, and there's freeze frame footage of a projectile coming from that direction. That's all I'm going to say. Ed Lee, I saw it on I saw it on Twitter, and another guy bought the Marine Corps sniper on it. I'm going to see if I can find that video. Wide Awake, the medical examiner hasn't made a report because they're probably trying to find the right medical examiner to read off some bullshit. Because normally they would have fucking said something now. They haven't said anything. And if they haven't said anything yet, that means they're trying to find the right one to agree with their bullshit story, their bullshit narrative. All right, police arrest the patsy claiming to be the shooter. Again, that was George Zinn. He said he was the shooter so that he can let the real shooter get away. And not the kid, the other guy that was on the right side of the window. The patsy yells, shoot me during the arrest. He knew that the shooter was still in the area. And I've heard that before. I've heard some people say that shit before. Tugging me to Tubin. Not necessarily true. The coroner's report can be doctored up. That is a cold, hard facts. The medical examiner's report will be doctored. So it doesn't matter what they say. I'm not going to believe it because I've seen other reports get doctored and they lie about certain things. So that's going to happen. So it doesn't matter what, because they're taking too long. The longer you take, the switch of a narrative they're trying to tell. They're trying to tell a completely different narrative. They're going to tell us that the bullet came from the front, and it didn't. Again, the muzzle flash speaks otherwise. That thing goes off with the crack sound in the videos. And there are different videos showing close up, far away, it's a muzzle flash. And to boot, I don't even think, I think he had a suppressor on it, on top of everything else. Bori, the guys doing the signal, they were doing security for Charlie Kirk, and they were giving signals to guys in the crowd. He had security guys in the crowd because it was a credible threat for his life. So instead of making it obvious and talking on the mic and doing all this other bullshit, the one guy, I think he thought he saw somebody because he gave a signal, but as soon as Charlie got shot, the look on his face was like, holy shit, like, what the fuck just happened? So I think they thought they saw somebody in the crowd because he gave a signal and another guy in the crowd looked to his right or his left, the opposite way to the shooter, and gave a signal as well. And then the shot came from the right. Let's see, where are we? So then he had a 9/11 propaganda video, Surfers of the Patsy. That was him being involved in the 9/11, calling in that he saw a plane going in the building. The actual shooter fled without a trace. And here's the other thing, guys. This kid got away from the police while running on a roof. Listen, they saw him running on a rooftop. Somebody pointed and yelled, "There he is." So the cops conveniently lost track of him because he dipped into the crowd and just vanished, and you couldn't track this kid after that. I mean, like, again, and though the patsy made it hard for them to do so, this kid wasn't that clever, like not even a little bit. And then tells his dad, he gets away with all of this to tell his dad to turn himself in. That doesn't make sense. I would have got away with the crime of the century. The last thing I'm doing is telling my father about it. They wouldn't have caught him. They would not have caught this kid. Like, not even a little bit. Benjamin Netanyahu, within minutes of Charlie Kirk passing away, tweets about how sorry he is and all this other bullshit. He was the only world leader to tweet within minutes of Charlie Kirk being announced that he was passed away. So then we heard about the private jet that disabled its location and left for an hour and came back. The jet was owned by a Tiny Hat, if you will. Benjamin Netanyahu also posted about Charlie Kirk's trip to Israel, or Israel trip, which I thought that was an older trip, but I'm not sure what was going on there. FBI says foreign intelligence assisting in the investigation, but then stating that they're not doing that anymore. Weird. FBI claims that they have photos of the shooter, and those photos are sure. Listen, guys, again, those videos, cameras in these colleges are super fucking crisp. They can see the iris of your eyes, and yet they release these digital ass shit photos of this guy, and then the Bigfoot one across the field. I'm not buying it, man. They were covering up for somebody. Maybe that was the second shooter in the grassy knoll. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. The assembled firearm found in a wooded area. Not buying that bullshit. No photos exist of the shooter with the gun, and no photos of the shooter in tactical gear. Zionists go on social media blitz about Kirk. Benjamin Netanyahu goes on a media blitz about Kirk. Benjamin Netanyahu says Islam was behind the shooting. Of course you would. Listen, this guy made himself look more guilty than anything else. And blaming it on Muslims? Charlie Kirk started switching his mindset about Israel, not Islam. Whatever. And again, Benjamin Netanyahu made himself look more of a target when he said that. The guy looked guiltier than fucking shit itself, man. Yeah, Candace Owens is definitely next. Candace Owens is definitely next, but she's got to be protected at all costs because she's outing the shit out of them right now. Like, she's doing a good job doing it too. Let's see, Candace says the letter was fake. Candace calls Benjamin Netanyahu to publish the so-called letter. Tucker says Charlie was at war with Israel. This is Tucker Carlson. He even said it. Sonojevic says Kirk was at war with his donors. Nick Fuentes said the same shit as well. Gray Zone drops an article with Trump Insider. Insiders confirm Kirk was at war with Israel. Insiders confirm Trump fearful of Israel. Insiders also confirm Mossad spying on Trump. Mossad, guys, like I said before, they're not allowed in any CIA facilities because they're always trying to eavesdropping devices in there. They're like our terrible friendly, if you will. Trump Insider don't buy official FBI story. Nobody does. Well, sorry. People with a full brain doesn't believe the FBI narrative. Like, not even a little bit. Trump Insider also says outside forces killed Kirk. Israel. But the outside source didn't say that. Or the Trump Insider source didn't say that. But sure, it was just some random liberal kid that got together to do this nonsense. We're not buying it. We're not buying it even a little bit. So now, here are the things that happened after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The Epstein files were finally blocked completely. Pentagon banned any boycotting of Israel from companies. So companies they're trying to put in a ban. It's not fully in yet, but they're trying to put in a ban from anybody or any corporation boycotting against Israel. So with all of this nonsense that's going on in Palestine, there are companies that are boycotting Israel, and they're going to find these companies who are boycotting Israel. I've never heard of such a thing. And again, this bill is not fully in play yet, but they're trying to pass it. Imagine, guys, you could boycott all of the other nations and all the other countries in the world but Israel. And if you do, you're going to get a fine. That's bizarre. Also, $650 million was approved for Israel's missile defense. Rubio himself off to Israel for a photo op. They're about to indoctrinate him. All while they prep for the next stage, turning the U.S. into a surveillance state, technocracy, which is already in the UK, which is already in China, by the way. Congress, Senate, and certain courts are pushing to pass Israel-friendly case law. Proof of weapon network build a legal tool to bypass the Constitution when they need it, while fueling civil unrest to justify more surveillance. That's probably what's going to happen. Israel's trying to take over America. That's the gist of it. Israel's trying to circumvent the Constitution, and they're buying their way to do so. Muslims are also trying to do the same thing. So that's where I'm interested, where this is going to start butting heads. This has to start butting heads at some point, because you can't have two opposite sides of the religion spectrum fighting it out for the going for the same thing without there being any fighting. So yeah, this is going to look interesting. Did you happen to see what the UPA Congress hearing on September 9th? No, Joseph Benson, I did not. I do not know what that's going on. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, Laura, the text from the shooter, too standard. Hudson Valley prepping and survival ready. I didn't believe any of that shit. Fuck out of here. No way. They can keep that. They can keep that nonsense. Way too. Did you do it? Yes, I. Get the fuck out of here. That's where you're gonna admit it on Discord. You know, it should have been like, did you do it? I can't tell you that. That would have been the answer. Not, yes, I did. Oh, wait, let me leave some ammo around. Sprinkle it. You know? Oh, let me put some pro-trans messages on this casing, which is hard to do. Let me put it on here and sprinkle it at the crime scene. Let me leave the round in the gun, have the FBI told you I took it apart, and then put it back together with the spent casing in it. Yeah, but that makes sense. It's all bullshit, man. Charlie Kirk, George Floyd were both born on October 14. Sure skeptic. That's a pretty interesting fact. Interesting information there. Got to look into that. But yeah, that storyline they told us, man. Yeah. And Sarita said they have the same birthday. Roger that. That's interesting. And a lot of the numbers are starting to play, but yeah, and the way that the boyfriend was like interacting with him was weird. It was just like, oh, okay. It sounded like some Dr. Seuss bullshit. I was just like, what? Are this two retards texting each other? What the fuck is going on here? But I didn't believe it. As soon as they said, oh, we got their text message, let's release it to the public. And the public is believing it. That's the crazy shit. Public is like, yes, they text each other. I'm like, you believe that? And guy goes, why you don't? What the fuck would make you think I would believe that? Do I look fucking stupid? Wasn't born yesterday. You morons. Listen, the people that took the Mr. 19 arm ticket are the same people that are going to believe whatever they're told. So whatever the government tells them to do, they're going to do it. Laura, they're talking about arresting the boyfriend. They're not sure if they're going to do it or not because he knew about it and he didn't say anything. But they're also because he's trans and he's protected. That's probably why. And he thinks he's a furry or some shit. So yeah, you're not going to get much out of that fucking psych patient. Like not even a little bit. You know, he's a furry, man. He's like all fucking, you know, bouncing around and shit. I knew it. They demonetized my last video, but that's fine. So all right. And I told you guys, when you demonetize shit, it ramps it down from being shown to everybody else. But I had a feeling that was going to happen. But that's fine. Because they're like, uh-oh, he's talking about the tiny hats too much. We got to get him. Yeah, so I knew that one was coming. They're gonna absolutely demonetize. Whatever, it is what it is. It's been a while anyway, so fuck them. Restore justice. Yes, I know. I know. And anybody who speaks out against them fucking gets the screws put to them. So, yeah. Joseph, yes, that the hearing of the UFO, they think that people are starting to think that that's an alien craft now. I've been following that because I can multitask. People are starting to think that that's a. Listen, there are people out there that think it's a sham. They think it's fake. I don't think it's fake. And not with the new information that came out. What's a furry? Yes, raccoon eyes. It's somebody who dresses up like a furry animal, like a fox or a cat. They wear the whole costume. There's a whole sex thing with it too. It's really weird. There are people who like put on this whole outfit, this whole costume, and they're like a furry. And they have like they either have real sex or make believe sex. It's wild. It's great. It's a crazy thing. And they walk around acting like animals. And that's when you just fucking start throwing canned goods at them because you're like, what are you? Are you out of your mind? You know, whatever. This video is also going to get demonetized, I might say. So I might as well keep it going. Why not? Oh, Casey said I was being a smartass. Sorry. Yeah, sarcasm doesn't go over well on here. Just letting you guys know. Some people it does because I know certain people's like temperament and how they are just by talking to them over the years. So some people I get and other people I don't. So excuse me. Yeah, censorship. But it is what it is. Charlie Kirk dad built Trump Tower. Yeah, listen, Charlie Kirk came from money. People like, I made my own money, I did this. No, you didn't, dude. Stop. You were born from money. You came from money. That's why you had the opportunities. Like Charlie Kirk's message is great, but there was one video he was talking about how he made it. No, you didn't, dude. You already had connections. You already had a foot in the door. When you have a foot in the door, you can't turn around and go, I made it on my own. No, you didn't. You absolutely did. Let's stop that bullshit. Making it on your own would be like somebody like myself or Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival making it to an area where now we're on the national stage. Like Officer Tatum or Candace Owens, they made it, they built their shit from nothing. You can't sit there and money given to you and, oh, I made it. I'm a self-made millionaire. No, you're not. Absolutely. Like the Kardashians. They're like, oh, we worked hard to make a bitch. You sucked a dick on TV and you rubbed the cock on your face. So stop. Acting like she worked hard for it. It doesn't take anything to have someone fucking shoot cum on your face on a video. Fuck out of here. I hate when people like actors are like, I worked hard for my. Listen, you banged a dude in the ass or you fucking took dick in the face to get your role. That's not working hard. Anybody could sell their soul. Some actors, I'm not saying all actors, but some actors definitely sold out. It's what it is, man. Like I said, this shit's demonetized. I might as well fucking just have at it now. Genesis says, Candace Owens, if she's not a lunatic, she's on the right path. Your brain is just too small to understand what she's trying to say. Tiny brain. Goes along with the tiny hats. But anyway, not the point. Yeah, man, fuck that. She's definitely on 5G Trevor. I like that. That was a good one. But yeah, man, it's all a minute to devil worship. Yeah, Stephanie, they do. Some of the shit that I see, like their stage setup, I'm like, man, that's fucking Masonic, right? It's fucking right in our faces. Took me forever to figure it out, And then people start pointing it out. I go, oh shit, there it is. Because I'm not looking for, and not for nothing. I haven't watched an award show in a long time. Like I watched maybe 5 minutes here too, but I used to sit through them. I'd be like, oh, I can't wait for my movie to get. And then I grew up, right? I was like, what am I fucking stupid? What do I care if these people win an award? It does nothing for me. That's the crazy shit. Like sitting there go, oh, I can't wait for my movie to win and then what? Now, yes, if you are debating with people about which is the best movie, then you can use the awards as your gauge as whether or not it's a good movie or not in the argument in the grand scheme of things. But it does nothing for us. These people patting each other on the dick, that's all it is. They're patting each other on their titties and ass. They're like, I made the best movie, give me an award. I worked so hard. No, you didn't, man. You sat in the fucking teeth in the camera. They said, action. You go, and I did not do that. You got me. And then cut, and then back to your fucking trailer. Get the fuck out of here. These people with their fucking bullshit, like they're fucking doing something hard. Stand in front of a camera. Oh God. We had to wait. I didn't have any more Krispy Kreme donuts. What am I gonna do? You know, like, and then they break out into a song and dance, and the whole production starts dancing with them because they ran out of Krispy Kreme donuts. Fuck these fucking actors and their bullshit. Like their work is that hard. You know, now granted, there's some good actors out there like Heath Ledger with the Joker. Phenomenal acting, but I wouldn't call that being hard. Try fucking, being on a boat in the middle of the fucking somebody's ocean trying to get crabs for people. That shit's hard work. Or being in a mine, mining coal, or whatever the fuck you're mining. That's hard work. Not fucking sitting on a stage going, thank you for my award. I worked so hard. It took me years to get here. Yeah, years of rubbing cum on your face while your skin looks so fucking good. You know? TK said Trump was not too sad about Charlie Kirk. No, he wasn't. That when I saw that whole partying shit, I'm like, he's full of shit. Fuck that dude. And now that the Epstein files are completely out from being released. Yes, Lisa, I heard that. I heard Trump was telling him to fucking, Yeah, I heard Trump was telling him to back off the files and stop mentioning it. He had a falling out. I'm pretty sure he had a falling out with Trump. And Trump was going like this because he was like, yes, he's dead. Now he can leave me alone about the Epstein files. And then the Epstein files are blocked. Coincidence? I don't fucking think so, man. Not even a little bit. And listen, the other problem is I think Charlie Kirk was taking on too many things at once. Taking on Israel and the Epstein file, because the Epstein file is undoubtedly connected to Israel. Yeah, there it goes, right? JFK, right? Wanted to fucking change some kind of banking system and something about the silver notes or something like that in the same year he was assassinated, right? And there was something else he did that year too that pissed off the elites, and they were like, yep, yeah, no, we can't have this dude. Bang, right? And that was it. No kidding. Interesting. But yeah, back to, like I said, I haven't seen an award show in years. I haven't sat through any of them. And I was sitting there clapping. People make parties out of the fucking award show, the Oscars. They're eating popcorn and shit. They're all like, who's going to win the award show? Let's do award bingo. You fucking homo. Who does that? Award bingo. Oh, who's going to win the Academy Award this year? And then, and whoever gets, best actor, this, that, and the third, there's a legit Oscar bingo game. This is what people do, man. I mean, listen, America can't get together for missing kids, but they can get together and stand in a line for hours to go watch the Barbie movie, which was the dumbest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. That movie was the most womanist movie I've ever seen. It was about a bunch of women who couldn't take accountability and blame men for the hierarchy they built in their fucking Barbie world. And somehow, that was a good movie. The fuck out of here with that bullshit. That's fucked. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It was the dumbest movie. And I watched the movie because Ryan Gosling's in it, and everybody was ranting and raving, and it was on for free. I'm like, all right, I could be gay for like an hour and a half, right? I'll watch this movie. And I watched this movie, and I just got fucking annoyed. So I immediately had to go turn on fucking Lone Survivor to get my testosterone running again, because my fucking brain cells were scorched after watching that movie, and my estrogen was through the fucking roof. So yeah, I had to watch a fucking man movie to get my fucking testosterone back after watching that shit show of a movie. And they're going to do a part 2. And listen, not for nothing, but what's her face is in the movie, and she's pretty hot. She's hot to look at. So there was also that. Yes, Brian, I watched it. Listen, I will admit I have watched some girl chicks. Like my favorite chick movie was Mean Girls. That was probably it, and that was with Lindsay Lohan when she was like super hot. Um, but that was probably it. I didn't like The Notebook. That was out on that shit. And Mean Girls was funny. Like that whole fucking premise was funny. But yeah, Barbie movie, stupid. Tell me a quoting. So I can't remember any of the songs. Ryan Gosling was like the best character in the whole movie. That was the crazy shit. The movie's about Barbie and Ryan Gosling like stole the show. You know, white chicks. I didn't really like that movie. I didn't like two black dudes dressed up as chicks. I didn't. I wasn't digging that. Like not at all. Not even a little bit. Like not even a little bit. You know, I just didn't like the movie. It was just like ew. It was gross. You know. Caveman. I know Lone Survivor was a made-up movie. Thank you. First of all, Lone Survivor the movie had nothing to do with Lone Survivor the book. Two totally different fucking um, events. The book was a complete lie. The movie was a bigger complete lie, but it's still a good action movie. Check this out. This is the crazy part. Chicken Man said, "I'm a whatever." Here's the crazy part. When men watch action films, their testosterone is peak. It raises, right? When you watch an action film. And there was a study done in Harvard a few years ago that your testosterone gets a boost whenever you watch an action film, whatever the action film is, right? So, for example, when I watch Terminal List, Dark Wolf, man, I'm all about. I start working out in the middle of watching that fucking show. I'm like, get some, kettlebells, lunges. I'm gonna push-ups because an hour ago I wanted nothing to do with fucking working out. Show everybody real has a fucking jeweler, a fucking Jew. I get. Backyard Chicken Man. I guess I don't know what you're trying to say. He must be angry or drunk and angry. But anyway, so with that, they did a study saying that anytime you watch an action film, your testosterone rises. So most men, when you watch an action flick, that's why you get that urge to want to do something like fight or work out or get in your car and drive fast. Titanic was good. I did like Titanic, but that wasn't a chick flick, dude. Dark Wolf is awesome. Oh boy, Dark Wolf is the shit. I'm like, I want to be. I'm too old, but I would love to be a Navy SEAL after a while. And granted, like, when you watch that movie, you're like, that's what I want to do. I want to get in there and get some, but that's never gonna happen. I'm never gonna be strapped up with night vision goggles and fucking never gonna happen. That's why I like it because that's something I'll never do or never become. That's why I like watching TV show Suits because I like the snazzy dressing and the lawyer talk and we're gonna get him and we're gonna fucking sue the shit out of you. That's why I like that shit. And and so yeah, Bagel Boys. That's a new term. I like that term. Um, but yeah, so when you watch a movie, your testosterone raised up. That's what you want to do. Sorry. So watching shows like Suits or Dark Wolf, that's things I'm never going to be. I'm never going to be that. I'm never going to be a sharp dude in the suit talking lawyer term and fucking. I'm going to sue the shit out of you. That'll never be me, right? And I'm too old to be a Navy SEAL, and I don't think I'd ever been a Navy SEAL. I don't think I had that grit back then. I have that grit now. Again, too old. Darkwing Duck, nice. Do you like hood movies? I used to. I like Boys in the Hood. I like Menace to Society. Menace to Society is still a good movie. Terrible acting, but still a good movie. I like South Central. That's still good. I like hood movies. I don't mind. I like not this new hood shit. I like the older hood shit. But yeah. Anyway, I think I've been on too long. No, but like action flicks, man, they give some good fucking testosterone boosting shit, man. Like I'm like, yo, you watch Die Hard, you want to go to a gun range and start shooting at fucking terrorists, like that. When you watch like a Navy SEAL movie, especially if you're a gun owner, you want to strap up and go down, go to a range and start letting off rounds, Um, You know, you watch a boxing movie. When the boxing movie's done, you want to turn around on a boxing bag and start hitting the bag a little bit, right? So again, it's all part of it. Dean said I was a soldier. It was great. Roger that. Oh, nice one, Occult Prepper. Then what about CB4? CB4 is still a horrible movie, but I like it. It's funny. It's a funny movie, but it's horrible. New Jack City is a fucking classic. You can't get any better than that, man. That's a good fucking movie. That movie was true to form. About as true to form as it could be, especially when they were like, you can't touch Nino Brown because of this, that. Like, that was pretty good. That was good. That was a good, true to form drug movie as it could possibly get in that time. Fight Club made me want to start fucking fighting. I just wanted to go out of the movie theater and start punching people in the face. You know, Fight Club's still a good fucking movie. Colors is a great movie. I like Colors. Then you watch certain movies, man. You want to be a cop. You know, you watch certain movies. You want to be a cop. You watch certain movies. You want to be a fireman. Like Backdraft. I watched Backdraft. I'm like, I want to burn. I want to run in burning buildings. Here I am, 20 after seeing Backdraft 35 years ago now, right? 30 years ago maybe. Wait, how old am I? I'm 48. 30 years ago would have made me 18. Shit, over 35 years ago when Backdraft came out, right? And yeah, man, here I am. So I watched Backdraft and I'm like, I could do that, you know. You watch some good cop movies, you're like, yeah, not more cop, damn it. Stupid movie. I hate that movie. You know why I hate that movie? Because they gave it a fucking sequel and they're giving us a hard time about I Am Legend 2 or Edge of Tomorrow, which supposedly they're working on a 2 for Edge of Tomorrow or Live Die Repeat, however you know the title as. But the Edge of Tomorrow 2 is coming out. They are working on it. Saving Private Ryan is the best war movie ever made. I thought Hamburger Hill was, and Platoon. Saving Private Ryan, best war movie ever made. You don't get any better than that. Deep Cover was a good movie. End Watch wasn't bad. I liked End Watch. It was a pretty good movie. Wasn't what I expected, but it was still decent. And Deep Cover was a good movie as well. Looking for Mr. Goodbye. Leroy, Texas. Is that a movie? Can't remember. That looks familiar. Maximum Overdrive. I watched it recently. I didn't like it anymore. I didn't like Maximum Overdrive. I was like, oh, this movie sucks. Police Academy 1 and 2 were good. 3, nope. Nope. The Wraith is still a good movie. The Wraith is still a classic, man. Like that, you could look at that movie today and be like, yes, I would do exactly that. Come back as a alien spirit or whatever in a fast car, blowing people up with my car and then coming back together. They should redo that movie. The Equalizer with Denzel was very good. The third one, he showed his age in that one. He was moving in slow motion. Because I looked at him and I was like, they're doing the third one? This motherfucker's dust now. And then when they did that scene where they didn't show us what he was really doing, I'm like, because they had to keep the shots tight because he's old. He's not moving as fast anymore. So is Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves couldn't do another fucking John Wick. He's moving too slow now. He runs all slow and shit. And he's not as fast as he used to be. Tremors review. I should do a Tremors review. But yeah. But Ratpocalypse, yeah, man. I would do a review on that. That's just going to be a rant. That is just going to be a fucking rant if I do a review on Ratpocalypse. People are just going to be like, this movie sucked. Repo Man was good. Rat Boy. No one else has seen Rat Boy. I talked about Rat Boy. People are like, what's that? That's a classic movie. Rat Boy, classic movie. The Professional. Or TJ. Have you seen Leon, The Professional? That's the edited version of The Professional. Very fucking good. Added way more scenes into that. Way more scenes in that. But Leon, The Professional. And that was actually the original title to the movie. But apparently there's The Professional and Leon, The Professional, which is like the director's cut, if you will. Do I have that here? I don't. I have Saving Private Ryan, Stargate. I don't have it here. I have Dances with Wolves, and Silence of the Lambs. I used to have a serious DVD collection. I gave most of them away recently. But I used to have a fucking mean DVD. I wish I would have kept them all now, thinking about it. I should have. And just, collected them. And then when they became obsolete, sold them. They're not obsolete just yet. But anyway, guys, I think I run my course. Man, I ran longer than I wanted to. If I am going to go off the air, we need an angry film critic night. We I'm gonna listen. I've been working every Sunday. I was trying to make it Sunday. I might do it next Wednesday night if I'm off. I'll do an angry film critics, and we'll just talk about different movies. You guys will name him, and we'll talk about it. Or I'll talk about yes, Evolving Media, so Rat Boy. Or I'll pick a movie, an '80s film and a '90s film. We'll talk about both of them, and then we'll just rattle them off. And I'm gonna try to do like did you know? Like there's a lot of shit about a lot of these movies we didn't know about that's starting to come out about them now. For example, Billy Bob Thornton hated fucking Armageddon. He hated that movie, and he will not speak about what he hated about that movie. He hated doing the movie, rather. He was pissed on that set. It either was somebody he didn't like, or something happened on that set. But he might have hated Michael Bay, because Michael Bay was a dick director, or is a dick director. So that might have been it. Halle Berry denied being in the movie The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans. Still a good movie. I like it anyway. Good cop movie. And she denied for a few years being in that movie. And they cut that, like the scene where she was on stage dancing. It was a stand-in. I was like, motherfucker, but it wasn't her. Because who would not want to see Halle Berry, stripping, And then she does the topless scene in Swordfish. I was like, come on. She didn't want to do that scene in The Last Boy Scout when it first came out. She was supposed to do a stripper scene and she didn't. So they did a close shot and titties and abs and shit. And she didn't want to do it because she wasn't comfortable. But then she does Swordfish with Hugh Jackman and fucking John Travolta, and she does the topless scene, the famous topless scene. And everybody was like, hurrah, yeah. But anyway, again, that's the kind of shit we're going to talk about. But other than that, guys, I'm going to go off the air. Pax, sorry about you joining the live now, but we're going off the air. I got some videos to edit, and I got to get to sleep because I got to go to work. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it as always. If something crazy happens this weekend, I'll go online. There might be some protesting downtown. I don't know. There might have been some small bullshit today, but again, if something bizarre happens this weekend, I'll go live then. Other than that, see you guys next Tuesday, I think, and have a good weekend.